Welcome to Eat This. Eat this. This week, we have lunch with Jamie Olah, playwright, teacher, creative wonder, and immensely supportive person. We've primarily worked together in a storytelling capacity, Jamie helping me create several music concerts over the years. You can see a video of one of our big projects, Voices, a music ethnography of foster care, through the link in the show notes. If you want a great collaborator and someone on your creative team who is not afraid to say the thing you need to hear but aren't listening to, hire Jamie. So many amazing moments working with Jamie. For lunch, we had a green bean curry with rice topped with pickled collard stems, roasted pecans, and purple basil from Jamie's garden. Let's dive right in.
Hi everybody, my name is Jamie Olah. I am a playwright and I am an educator. I focus on creating work that really celebrates the use of comedy to address social justice issues. I think that I'm really excited about creating art that is big and bold and messy, and that I want to create really wildly entertaining work, but at the same time something of substance that is really speaking to what is going on in the world right now and how I am processing those things. And my goal really is for us all to be processing it together in space, but in a way that is lighthearted and delightful and surprising. So I'm really excited to be here, and I'm really excited to be eating this delightful food and to see what Sean has in store for me. So we will just go and check it out. All right, let's go. Oh, Sean also wanted me to show you my shoes. So I'll go like this real quick. I wore special shoes for the occasion. This is the first time that I've busted these out, but I figured, like, what a better occasion than, coming and eating some delicious food. I don't know, there's something about having a view when your heart is broken.
Yeah, totally.
It helps to heal a bit.
It helps to heal.
I think
That's
it
gonna
does.
make it in. We're not speeding over that.
Yeah, no.
Something about having a view when your heart is broken.
Mm-hmm. I think so. But, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as you know, this show is kind of me exploring creativity and work and the tension that exists between those in our culture and getting together with people I've worked with to understand your experience and your history with those two things, if you see them separately, if they overlap, where they do, where they don't. So wondering what in your experience is and is not creativity and what is and is not work.
Sure. So I did some thinking about this. So because I spent time in a Montessori classroom, like all of the materials that are on the shelves that children use to help them learn like phonics or learn their math skills or whatever are called works. And so it's like, okay, and we call like what they are doing in the classroom, we call it work. And so it's like, we call them works and things like that. And, I haven't studied Montessori, like the teachings of Maria Montessori enough because I never went through the training. But the idea, it's validating the children, what the children are doing it's validating what they're doing and putting importance on what they're doing as opposed to playing, right? Which has this like frivolous connotation.
Right.
But a work is like, this is something of value. This is something that is helping you grow. This is something that is essential to your development as a person.
Right.
And we're validating that with the word work. At least that's how I've always internalized that and how we use that in the classroom and how I talk about it with kids. So I feel like I like taking that idea and putting it to what we do. And I think that especially in the creative profession, a lot of the times, like there's this separation between our creative projects and like what we do for money and how we survive. And you can't get past that because that is just the world we are living in. That is how it's constructed. That you have to make a particular type of work to be seen as valid and a particular type of work to be financially compensated at an appropriate rate. So That's where my brain goes when you say work.
Yeah.
And just the struggle, like the constant struggle, especially as a playwright who will never make her living off of writing, ever. It just is a fact. Like, you cannot do that. Our world is not designed to do that.
No.
And so, but as far as like creativity and like what does creativity mean? Is that the question? Is like, what is creativity, or is it more about the relationship between them?
I think it's all of that.
All of those things?
Or however you're interpreting it.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, creativity has to, like, there has to be at some point some intentionality to it. And to me, it's all about, there's an element of problem solving that has to happen. To me, it's about problem solving and intentionality. And I think because if you're in a generative place, you don't necessarily need to be intentional. You're more receptive. Like, I'm in a space of receptivity where I am experiencing things, sensations, I'm taking in input and playing with that. And then at some point, I'm taking what I've done and received in this massive creativity and massive product that I've created, and I'm selecting those things and putting my attention on the things that have juice and meat and can be molded into something.
Yes.
So at some point there has to be intentionality, I think, with creativity, because you are trying to achieve a certain outcome for a specific purpose. And I think that one of the things that I appreciate, this is extending well beyond your question, but just personal opinion, is I think that the best work that I experience are ones where the intention is crystal clear. And the works that I get very frustrated with are ones where the intentionality either has not been given its due or has been dismissed or has been thrown away for the sake of, like, I'm gonna do something crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's why when I was in my 20s and I first came to Chicago, I saw some really bad performance art. And to me, it was all because there was no intentionality.
Right. This will get attention.
This will get attention, but there's no intention to it. Yeah. Like, I'm not... That's why I hate art that is just like, I'm just gonna shock you. To what intent? For what purpose?
Yes.
To get you off? Like, is it really... It's very selfish.
Yes.
It's very selfish because it's about the person who's shocking.
Yeah.
It's not about the person who's being shocked. It's about the person who's shocking and the delight or whatever, or feeling like they got one over on me or something of that nature.
Yep.
And it's like, this isn't about me as an audience member. This is about you.
Yeah.
And I'm not here for your pleasure. Like, don't use me that way.
Right.
I don't like the idea that life is finite. Because to me, that seems very antithetical to how the world operates.
Yes.
Right? Because it's like what you're saying with, like, the water cycle and everything. Yeah. It's just like, no, but if my body goes back into the earth and becomes the leaves and becomes the bunnies and becomes the trees and becomes the world, like, and my matter recycles back into the world to become new life, why would my soul do anything differently?
Right.
Like, it seems weird to me that that my matter would continue on here in new ways and in different life forms, but that my soul only goes one direction and ends.
And has an end.
And has an end point.
Yeah.
Also, this is acknowledging that I've lived an incredibly privileged life. A life that I am very grateful for. A life where I've experienced a lot of love and all of my needs have been met. And I would love to do it again. And so the idea that I would be done at the end of this life is very sad to me.
Right.
And so I like the idea that I would get a go at it again.
Yeah.
And again and again and again.
Yeah, and again. I also think humans have it's through our creativity that we have this innate ability to not only manipulate our surroundings, but it's also the way that we pass that knowledge through history, like into the future. Yeah. And we have, through art and all of these incredible ways that we communicate, this amazing record keeping that we totally take for granted in today's, like, very, is it left brain?
Oh, I don't know.
Whichever
one.
Whichever one is
mathy
the one that tells me I'm stupid sometimes. Yeah. Like that. Like, we have a culture that really prioritizes that type of thinking, and we totally miss all of these incredible ways that we have evolved on this earth. And I think that is a really, I think that is part of how our souls live on as well. There is this, like, we have all these concepts of how we relate to one another, love, compassion. Where do these come from? And they come from our history.
Yeah.
And we just don't know that, we can't know that history but we have that feeling. We know that feeling, and that comes from people. And I feel pretty strongly that that's how we live on as well. That's where things go.
Yeah. This is an interesting conversation around like legacy and whatnot. I think it's also like, I don't know anything about you and your goal, like life plan, but like, I'm not gonna have children, and that's part of my life, and that's a choice that I've very deliberately made, and I'm very, very I am very happy with that choice. And there's never been a question of I've rolled it around once or twice in my brain and been like, yep, nope, that's the right decision. Like, it's never been hard. Like, I've never doubted that choice. But I feel like so much of what people tie to their legacy and wanting to live on and is through children.
Yes.
And for those of us who have chosen not to have children, like, I feel like everybody still has a little bit of that innate desire within them somehow to positively impact the world. And if I don't have a child to carry that forward, how do I do that? And it's interesting, though, because part of me feels like I should want to have this seminal work that then gets published and then the generations, well, blah, blah, blah. I don't really have that either. So I'm wondering, like, do I have, like, am I missing something? I don't know. But at the same time, like, I don't want my impact on the world to just end when I'm gone. I guess it's through the kids that I've worked with.
Definitely.
And my work as an educator in general, I think.
Definitely.
I think that's where it comes in. And working with adults too, working with anybody. I think it's probably my work as an educator is where, because that's where my passion is.
Yeah.
Is, besides being an artist, is like helping people become the best versions of themselves and the most realized, genuine versions of themselves that they can be.
Yeah.
Regardless of their age. And I don't think I need credit for that. Like, I feel like some people need credit for that.
Right, but it's not an ego-driven.
No,
yeah, totally.
Like I don't need credit for that.
Well, I'm gonna give it to you anyway, because this
thanks.
ties into our connection.
Yeah.
And how, just like, sparked a flame for me. I mean, we met right before the pandemic, and immediately, you're interested in doing political work. You're interested. You have a stance that work is always political, whether it's explicit or not. And I was in these environments in conservatory where I was doing things that were explicitly political, but people were not understanding or respecting that work. So it was really refreshing to, like, oh my God, you understand where I'm coming from. Like, you are going to have quality input into the work that I'm doing. So it was really, really cool to, I think the first thing we worked on was the voices, the foster care piece.
Yes.
And then we've worked on, many projects since, and just like you were on as a creative consultant, or some degree there was some like writing, I forget all of the different terms that we used, but generally speaking, you were some sort of consultant. You were on taking a big picture view at all times, asking the big questions, trying to get me to see bigger and see connections. And the way that taught me as an artist and as a person is just like really foundational. And the work that I'm doing now, I don't think would be possible without your mentorship in that. So thank you.
Thank you. That's so well. Thank you for. I think it takes courage to invite somebody into your process. So thank you for inviting me into your process. Like, it was a gift to me as well. And also, like, it was a huge gift to me to be able to work with someone who is working not in the theatrical discipline. Like, I love music, and I love the way that you were thinking about music and exploring how it can address social justice issues. And and also like poo-poo on those people who are like closed-minded and say, oh, well, this isn't classical music or whatever. Like, what a narrow definition, and
yes,
and why? To what end? Why? How does that benefit anyone?
Great question.
Like shutting a door like
no
that. That's the thing that's always. I think maybe it ties to our innate desire to compartmentalize things to understand them.
Mm-hmm.
And if something doesn't neatly fit into a box, we say, well, I don't know what that is. That's not legitimate. It's like, no, it doesn't fit into a box, and that's the point.
Yay! Oh my God, we found something new.
Hooray! Yeah, innovation.
Incredible.
I mean, isn't that the silliest thing too? When people use the word innovation, but then when they actually see it, they're like scared
Terrified,
by it.
yeah.
It's such a
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
That whole side of the brain, that our culture, that whatever side that is, that side only. Julia Cameron put it last night when I read it. That brain only likes art when it's seen it many, many times.
Yeah, right? Well, that's the thing too. Like, when everybody goes, it's always interesting going to a museum, and there are certain people who go and just see the highlight. Like, they see the Mona Lisa, they go to the Art Institute and they just see Nighthawks.
Yep.
And they just see, like they see Monet's water lilies, and they're like, great, I did art.
Now let's go get a coffee.
Yeah, I did art. Let's go get a coffee. Yeah. And I'm like, you're missing the point.
Yeah.
You're missing all the point.
Yeah. Especially in a museum that's curated. Those, especially the Impressionist wing, like the way that it walks you through history to that point where you're like, oh, they had access to color in a different way, and technology helped them like get all, like, wow, incredible.
Yeah. Well,
but if you just,
I did it. Yeah. That was great. This is every time we talk about tourists in Chicago, I'm just gonna do that. I saw it. Okay, let's go get a hot dog. Oh, that's so good. This is so great. That's making it into a show somewhere.
Great.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see that show. I cannot wait to see that show.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. How do you feel when people say people who are not in a creative quote unquote creative field, which is bullshit, because every field is. If you're solving a problem,
you're creative.
You're creative. Yes.
Yeah.
But people who say I don't have a creative bone in my body. I hate it when people say that.
Yeah.
I don't hate the person. I hate the system who created a person who thinks that way.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the person. It has to do with the fact that we're living in a society that is a system that is teaching people that from a young age that you have to be a certain this or that to be creative.
Yeah.
And that if you're not, that you're somehow less than.
Yeah.
Like, and then you have And then you have people who like always wanted to learn an instrument or always wanted to paint and just never did it because they were too afraid.
Yep. I have nothing to add, but it's sad.
Yeah.
And I wish we were different.
Me too. So that's why we do what we do.
Yes. We focus on accessibility. We focus on process.
Mm-hmm.
And we invite people in.
Yes. Okay, you have another thing on your thing?
Okay. I did not know that you're a registered member of the Sokaogon Chippewa Community.
I am.
I did not know this about you.
I have a card and everything.
That's amazing. Do you want to talk about? I would love to hear more about that.
Oh.
But you don't have to share.
No, sure. Yeah. So it's it's my birthright.
Yeah.
So it is a tribe in upper Wisconsin, and Mole Lake is this tiny little lake up in Wisconsin, and it's on my mother's side, so it's through my mom's dad's side, and yeah, so I'm a registered tribal member, and it actually is a big part of my current artistic exploration.
Yeah. Because
I'm very, very far removed from it. Because I present as a white woman, and I am a white woman too. In addition to this, like I am both.
Right.
Like a lot of Indigenous people are, and like so many Indigenous people are like they are like me. They're mixed race and they are white presenting, and they also are incredibly distant from their Indigenous past, like mine is.
Right.
Because I didn't grow up on the reservation. I didn't grow up with anybody in my life who had that cultural knowledge to pass to me. Mm-hmm. And so I've had a lot of questions around that part of my identity. And also, like, the tribe itself is very small. The reason I'm even a member of it is because if they didn't allow in anybody who has a blood connection to it, there would be no tribe anymore. It would be gone. It would be eliminated. And my tribe, as opposed to other tribes, so a lot of other tribes use what's called blood quantum, which basically means you have to be a certain percentage related to be a tribal member.
Yeah.
My tribe doesn't use that because otherwise we would cease to be.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have our land, we wouldn't have federal funding, we wouldn't have the benefits that go along with that. I hate using the word benefit because it sounds like it's a bonus. It's like, which it isn't.
Yeah. The language around it is so...
The language is really...
Like poor language.
Yeah, it's poor language. Because it's like, in exchange for killing for genocide, I give you this benefit of free healthcare, of good healthcare, right?
That's like a...
Yeah, it's like a bit, right? It's
made by Republicans.
It's a big middle finger for those of you listening.
Yeah.
It's a big middle finger. So anyway, so I've been on this very, like, emotionally tumultuous journey of figuring out, like, how do I relate to my Indigenous heritage? Can I claim it? Can I not claim it? In claiming it, am I disadvantaging other people who need opportunities that I am privileged to, right? Because there's a lot of opportunities that are specific, well, less now because of the current administration and the eliminating of DEI, but a lot of opportunities that are specifically, like, for BIPOC playwrights. And so I've always had this question around, like, I exist as a white woman in space and have access to certain resources, but at the same time, I am an Indigenous person. Mm-hmm. Am I welcome in those spaces? In taking that opportunity, am I taking away an opportunity from someone who needs it more? But at the same time, if I don't show up, then there is no I at the table. There is no Indigenous person. Like, a lot of the times there isn't.
Yeah.
Because there are just so few. There are just numbers-wise, it's a numbers game. There are fewer of us. And so if I don't show up and claim that identity, then I'm actually doing a disservice to my tribe, because then I am not showing up and saying, I am part of the tribe, I am Indigenous, I am here, and this is me. And no, I didn't grow up on a reservation, but I still am Indigenous, and this is part of my identity, and this is part of what it means to be what it can mean to be Indigenous in America today. It's hard because there's such a narrow, and I think it is put on us by society and by the government, and to quantify your race, which is a construct. And in America, race is determined by your skin color. But to be Indigenous, there's this whole other layer also that has to do with tribal sovereignty, which basically means you're part of a completely different government. Mm-hmm. So it has nothing to do with how you look. It has to do with your, like, the governance. Anyway, so I have more questions than answers, and
wow.
And it all has to do with me and how do I ethically exist in that. And but my goal is actually to go, and I've talked to my aunt about going and visiting our tribe and doing research, and hopefully that will, like, and doing genealogical research and cultural research and doing things to connect more with that heritage and to reclaim that, and and potentially lead that to some kind of performance or some kind of something.
I want to see.
Yeah. Thanks. It's hard because even within the Indigenous community, there's a lot, because there are a lot of white people who are like, yeah, I am a Cherokee, blah, blah, blah. And that's legit. And, like, that's a legit issue of cultural appropriation and all of those kinds of things. But it's hard when I look like what I look and I step into a space and say, yes, I'm Indigenous, and people say, no, you're not. Yeah. Because of this narrow view of, like, what it means to be Indigenous. And I don't think that that's necessarily Indigenous. Sometimes it is Indigenous people saying that, and sometimes it's just everybody else. Yeah. Like, they're offended on behalf of Indigenous people. Anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry that... Thank you for sharing all that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sorry
it's
that
messy.
you
it's
are
just
having
all messy.
But it's all mess that is caused by colonialism. It's
Yep.
caused by imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy.
Yep.
And the concept of indigeneity does not exist outside of those paradigms that were created by people who wanted power. And I'm sorry that you are finding yourself caught in the mess of this hundreds of years, thousands of years later. And I think it's really, really amazing that you are trying to make connections with other people through that, and have your art as a medium to share your experience with that, your experience of learning about yourself through this. That's really powerful.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm really excited to hear about. I didn't know there was a whole background.
Oh,
I was just reading
thing.
your bio and I was like, I did not know this about you.
Well, I didn't put it in my bio for a really long time.
I thank you.
Yeah, and I decided, I was like, nope, it's time for me to claim this because it's important that I'm representing people like me.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing, like, I have a lot of anger that at all the systems that have been put in place that have, like, when I was in grad school, I took an Indigenous music seminar, which was awesome. I learned so much about powwow music. I was like, I didn't know that about powwow music and all these things. Because I've been to powwows and all of that, but I didn't realize, anyway, we can get into that another day. But just in educating myself, realizing that my circumstance is by design, that my circumstance and where I am is because of very specific systems that have been put in place to systematically separate me from my Indigenous culture.
Yeah.
And so I, in a lot of ways, am a success story for our government in their efforts to separate Indigenous people from their culture, from their language, and from their ancestry.
Right.
And so I have a lot of feelings about that.
Can you say that again for the people in the back of the room? Because I don't think people fully understand how deliberate an effort our government had to create this outcome that you are a part of and experiencing.
And that is still happening today.
Yes.
There are, like, all of the things with Indigenous schools and everything.
If you're listening to this,
yeah,
just listen to Indigenous people's history of America. Start there, and then you'll find there are a million other things.
Yep.
Reach out to us.
Yeah.
Probably you have more than I do.
Yeah, let's talk more.
I would love to hear what you have to share as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk
Sorry,
more
did
another
I cut you
time.
off?
No, not at all. No, I'm good. And Ken.
I so appreciated that you have, you are the granddaughter of immigrants.
Yeah.
In your bio.
I am
am also a grandson of immigrants.
Oh.
And great grandson of immigrants. I'm one more generation.
Yeah.
And that is not something that occurred to me to put in a bio, which is totally operating from this, like, American place. Like, right? Like, why wouldn't I put that? That's, like, such an important part of an American identity that I totally take for granted in myself. And we're in this time where we're forgetting that, and people are exhibiting so much, like, just disgusting behavior.
It's like you all, y'all are immigrants. Y'all are descendants of immigrants.
Like, just put it in your bio, put it everywhere.
Yeah.
When I saw it, really inspired me seeing that in your bio. I was like, oh, I need to update my bio to include that. And I think we all should.
Well, all the people who are throwing stones right now, I'm just like, y'all ancestors.
Yeah.
Were immigrants here too. Like they just weren't here.
Right. Like in fact, none of us.
And so, like none of y'all.
None of mine.
Yeah. So.
None of mine.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also, like, in my bio, I think it's important also for me to put that, because that was a huge, like, I feel honestly more connected to that part of my heritage because I grew up with my grandfather. Like, so my grandma is from she passed a couple of years ago, but she was from Germany, and my grandfather, who's 99, he's from Hungary, and they were part of the last people to come through Ellis Island.
Wow.
Yeah, like they closed it down right after
That's
my grandma came
incredible.
through. Yeah, but I think it's also important, like in my bio, because be like, I'm indigenous and I'm from because
Yes.
yes.
Oh.
But and that was a big, like, I grew up eating knedel and knackwurst and spatzel and like that and goulash and chicken paprikash, and like that was a huge part of my growing up, and hearing my grandparents talk German to each other when they didn't want us kids to know what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and like I go back and visit my grandpa in his house, and it's like, oh my gosh, I should just show you pictures someday. But their house is a capsule of the 70s. It's amazing. It's,
in Wisconsin?
Yes, in Wisconsin. Growing up, I didn't think anything of it, and then I brought my husband back to visit my grandparents, and he was like, oh, what is this? It's orange shag carpet.
Oh, incredible.
And it's like my macrame, and there's beer steins, and like it's just, yeah, it's this incredible space. But that's why, you know, and at the same time there's like this big, do you know what a cockle oven is?
No.
A cockle oven is a tiled large fireplace that has a seat around it, and you can sit and put your back up against it. And it's a wood burning fireplace, but it's huge. It takes up a huge part of your space, but it heats your whole house.
The whole house,
yeah. Which my grandpa and my dad, for a while there, were going to try to like make a little business of like building cockle ovens in people's houses, and then Americans were just like, we don't know what this thing is.
Yeah.
We don't understand what this thing is. But yeah, so I grew up in like this, around my grandparents' house, and my parents have a cockle oven and like all these things. Also, it was because they brought, like I was directly with them.
Yes.
As opposed to like if I had just been with, because my parents, my
Right.
dad definitely has like like all the recipes and things. Like
Yes.
that's a big part of our family, is like my Omi's like.
Yep.
We called her Omi, but Oma.
Yeah.
But when I was like 6, I was like, Omi, and then it was Omi. So, but we have all of her recipes and everything. Like that's
Right.
really important to our family.
Right.
Yeah.
I also got recipes from my grandma. Or
That's
just,
great.
Not recipes. I learned how to cook from my grandma on my mom's side, and she was making matzo ball soup and making noodle kugel and making date bars and all, like a ton of just like Jewish recipes.
Yeah.
And I learned how to cook from her. So the last thing is that we're going to create something together.
Yay!
We're going to write a research paper abstract about a specific holiday.
Delightful. Okay. Saving of Humanity, the effects of TMLAFHB week on humans. In this paper, we explore the mental, emotional, physical effects of Treat Me Like a F***ing Human Being week, also known as TMLAFHB, on the human spirit. Largely seen as a turning point in humanity and our relation to the earth, TMLAFHB week is a week-long celebration of truth, justice, and empathy. It marks the end of an era of incompetence, political decisiveness, and bad spray tans. 987 participants self-reported a marked decrease in anxiety and depression, as well as an increase in snuggle time, smiles, less guilt, and more cake. Contrary to our hypothesis, such honest and heartfelt partying for a week seems to lift the wellspring of human potential rather than exhaust it.